fucking Macy's.
What do they want?
It's spam call. He even said spam Macy's.
Oh my god.
Like, hey, we're trying to ruin your podcast.
Oh god.
All right, Shane, we're back. What is up, everybody, across the physical and astral plane, especially you guys waiting on King Yama's line to get to the spirit world. Welcome back to the Otakus Lounge. My name is Herb.
As usual, like such energy from you. My name is Lehns, and today we have a special guest.
It's Jeremy again.
What's up, Jeremy?
What is up, buddy?
All good.
So today, you wanna tell the folks at home what we did today, buddy?
All right, so we actually saw the two OVA episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho that were recently released.
Oh boy, was that a trip down memory lane.
Yo, just nostalgia. Maximum nostalgia.
So for those that don't know, again, you uncultured, Yu Yu Hakusho roughly translates to greatest of all time.
Now, I think that there's a list, right? There's a list of anime which deserve to be in the discussion for the GOAT. I call it the GOAT table. All right? Yu Yu Hakusho has a seat at that table.
It does.
Okay? So does Full Metal Alchemist, DBZ.
Dig it.
Not One Piece.
Not One Piece. Definitely does not.
Don't at
deserve
me.
it.
Not Naruto.
Not Naruto.
Definitely not Bleach.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
You were good for a while.
If
Cowboy
Berserk,
Bebop
Cowboy Bebop, yes.
deserves it.
If Berserk had better animation, it could be up there, but
You know,
anime's lacking.
I'm holding out hope that someday in the future, maybe like 2040, someone will go back and be like, you know what, this manga was fantastic and it deserves a proper adaptation.
I mean, if by 2040 he hasn't still been on hiatus.
You want to talk about hiatuses? Today we're talking about the hiatus king.
Yes, Yoshihiro Togashi, aka I don't give a fuck, I'm rich now.
You may know some of his other work as Hiatus.
Hiatus x hiatus.
Yeah, sorry, Hiatus X Hiatus. Commonly known by the people as Hunter x Hunter.
God, it was so good.
Oh, it was fun. But here's the thing. I knew he got lazy, man.
He doesn't have to try hard anymore.
Here's the thing. I was reading the manga as it was coming out. I know he got lazy when he was drawing stick figures.
No backgrounds.
No background.
Squiggles.
It was just squiggles. At some point,
Rorschach pictures.
It was hard to understand what was going on.
Or how about when he just started narrating the entire end of the Chimera Ant arc, rather than showing us what happened? Like, oh, they fought, they dashed across each other, and then Netero lost an arm. Like, gee, thanks. I wouldn't have liked to see that.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But as Lindsay, you stated before, he doesn't have to try hard anymore. Because he married the creator of Sailor Moon.
Yo, you know, he has a contender for the GOAT. She has a contender for the GOAT. You know,
Definitely,
like
Sailor Moon definitely has a seat at the table.
you know, like once you have a power couple that strong, do you need to do anything else?
I mean, Sailor Moon just had a remake not too long ago.
Yeah.
And they're
Crystal.
still making money off of that.
They've been making money off Sailor Moon for forever. And that's the funny thing, too, because while Yu Yu Hakusho is really huge, that just shows how Sailor Moon is gigantic.
Just absolutely.
It has its own phone.
Sailor Moon kickstarted an entire genre, pretty much.
Yeah.
Magical girls, fam. Magical girls. Don't sleep on them.
Don't. Anyway, the OVA, they were good. They were good, man.
I liked them.
So, 2 episodes, one dealing with the first time that Hiei and Kurama met.
Which, by the way, spoiler warning on the show for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it's been out for over 10 years now?
More than 2 weeks.
Yeah, like here's the thing. If you're mad about spoilers for Yu Yu Hakusho, you fucked up. I'm sorry. You had your chance. You should have done your homework. It's been done for over a decade.
It's been on Toonami.
It's been on facts.
It's been on Toonami on like multiple reruns.
Tom gave you your chance, okay?
I took that chance.
And if you say who's Tom, then yeah, clearly you haven't.
Then you're not ready for this.
You probably don't even know what.
If you're not ready for
is.
this, tune back next week for a topic that's a little more your anime level. But if you're still here with us, thank you for like enjoying Yu Yu Hakusho as much as I do.
I don't know about as much. You kind of like I don't know, man. It kind of gets your rocks off, I feel.
I mean, as much as the next man, I think. You know?
I mean, it's just so wholesome. From the very beginning of the story, where he saves that kid's life and dies in the process, you get the story of this kid he's basically a delinquent. He gives a crap about nothing. His life is just basically on the pits. All he has is his best friend Keiko, and his mom, and I guess you could call the frequent ass whooping he gives to Kuwabara like a kind of friendship.
It was a relationship of sorts.
So when he dies, he's just like, good riddance.
He's like, I had a shit life.
No one gives a shit. And then, honestly, from the first episode, they're just like, hey.
They Ebenezer Scrooge the fuck out of him.
Yes. And us too. When they grab at our heartstrings and pull it out at his fucking funeral.
Word.
Honestly, barely knew his mother and Keiko. Barely knew them. And just...
For me, like, it was like, oh, his mother is just catatonic. That's really sad. Keiko's, like, broken. That's sad. Kuwabara broke in to the fucking funeral and was crying and screaming at him to come back to life just so they could fight.
Yep.
And I was just like, and that's what I mean by they had that kind of friendship, because it was just like, it was that moment when you realized just how much that he cared about him, even though they were kind of like at
the school principal.
Yeah.
The school principal came to the funeral and said like he knew it was a waste of life because he saw the potential in Yusuke.
And just all of that is what sets us off on this grand ass adventure, because obviously
he doesn't stay
heart
there.
grew 3 sizes that day.
Jesus.
And he's just like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's bring me back to life.
Word. So while this isn't the topic of the OVA, I do want to mention what the second OVA episode is about. So it's a hostage situation.
Yeah, it's kind of really strange too, especially considering when it takes place.
Yeah. So the first OVA, right, takes place before the series starts, right?
Yeah, a year before the series starts.
Yeah, a year before the series starts. And then the second one occurs like right at the end, like
literally after the last episode of
Yu Yu
Hakusho original.
Dumb latency, like absolute opposites.
And by this point, this man has become pretty much one of the strongest people in the 3 realms.
Word.
Yep.
And he has to go deal with a hostage situation.
I mean, to be fair, they're aiming a fucking satellite cannon at his hometown.
A satellite spirit cannon.
Yeah, it would have bodied the whole town.
A couple blocks, yeah. And by blocks, I mean like
couple
districts.
blocks. the whole city. They wanted to like evacuate the whole city, fam.
In 24 hours.
Well, in 24 hours, what the terrorists wanted was for all demons to leave human world.
Or they would execute a hostage every 60 seconds. There weren't that many hostages, so I feel like they
would have ran out of people.
I guess that's what the cannon was there for. Like, we're going to kill everybody, and
then you were going to blow up your town. So there's a lot going on.
Yep.
It was just honestly nice after so many years to just... We mentioned it too, like, the gang all back together.
Squad.
Just...
The boys are back in town.
God.
Yeah.
And it was almost like no time had passed. Because, like... The energy that they play off of each other with, the comedy that was there, like, it was honestly like watching one of the old episodes.
Yeah,
like,
the music, the screen cuts.
Oh my god, the music! It's all the same music.
So many memories.
It's like it's a nostalgia kick in the gut, and it's so fantastic.
Right in the loins.
Right in the loins. All right, so recently a lot of people have been saying, well, a lot of the topic of shonen has been, swirling around due to like My Hero Academia and series and like Dragon Ball Super and all that stuff.
As to what is the greatest shonen to have ever shonen?
Word. I think that answer is Yu Yu Hakusho, and here's what I think.
At the very least, in the running. At the very least.
Not even. I think it like outclasses other
Everything.
shonen, and here's why. Because at the center of a shonen is your main character, and for a good shonen main character, that person needs to overcome like obstacles. Now, I think the 2 necessary elements that you need to have is a physical obstacle, right? Where the main character needs to physically get stronger, you know, like to overcome. And then you have an emotional obstacle, you know, somewhere to tie down our emotions. Now, if you look at other characters, like let's take Goku. Let's take Goku. He always has the physical obstacle, right? You know, he has to get stronger or whatever. But
he has no mental obstacle.
He has no mental obstacle. He loves to fight, and that's you know who he is.
Yeah, he very rarely comes across like a quandary that he just can't solve, or some moral dilemma that like binds his hands. It's just, oh, this happens, I'm gonna punch it.
And if I'm not strong enough to punch it, I'm gonna like lift some weights, do some sit-ups, drink my milk, and then I'm gonna punch it harder.
It's like they said, what if we hit him really, really hard together?
Exactly. And it's usually that way too. It's like, I'm gonna hit him by myself. That didn't work? Okay, I'm gonna train, and then I'm gonna hit him even harder. Oh, that didn't work? We're gonna train.
And we're gonna hit him hard together.
That always works. Anything else.
Teamwork.
So, like, Goku being I guess the poster boy for shonen.
And the Olympics.
And the Olympics. You know, you see where him as a shonen character, or as a main character rather, lacks. Take a look at Yusuke, though. Yusuke, we just spoke about how he didn't really value his life before. And, you know, he learns that his life does have, like, meaning, and people do care about purpose. People do care about him. And that's something he had to get over. But even, like, that's not the end of the road. You know, he still has to grow. So, obviously, there are physical challenges. And it peaks in the Dark Tournament arc.
Oh, my God.
It all peaks there. Because
the quintessential tournament arc, don't at me, because even the Tenkaichi Budokai does not compare to this shit.
It really does not.
Tournament arc! Tournament arc! It's a fucking tournament arc!
So, in the Dark Tournament, you have the major threat, Toguro, right? He is not strong enough to beat him.
Younger Toguro.
He already got his ass whooped once. Hard.
And was he only at like 20% power at the time, Toguro?
If that.
But like, just to really appreciate this, because he shows up before the Dark Tournament even starts, in this whole gang boss rescues a girl arc.
Yeah.
And Toguro jobs the hell out of that.
Out of Yusuke.
He pretends that Yusuke can actually beat him.
Yep.
And then it's just like, oh man, you've defeated me. No. And he saves the girl. And then he's just like, yo, come to this building in construction. Now let me show you exactly where you stand to me. And then he's just like, after that ass whooping, Togoro's just like, you're invited to the Dark Tournament. Have fun with that.
Oh, word. And he tells him, like, hey, listen, you're gonna show up. You're gonna fight me. I'm gonna murder not only you, but your whole family. Like, I'm coming after everybody.
No one is safe.
So he is presented with his physical challenge. This guy is leagues above him, way too powerful for him to handle. So he goes off and training montage and all of that.
Love it.
And it's during that time, right, when he trains with Genkai, that she points out his flaws as a person. You know, like, he doesn't take anything seriously. He doesn't give it his all. He doesn't put his 100% in.
Calls him a scrub daddy.
Not in as many words, of course.
If not more.
So this leads into a cycle. So he gets strong enough to, like, compete in the tournament, but essentially it boils down to, all right, in order to get stronger, right, in order to, like, exceed your physical limitations, you need to
become heartless.
That's
what Toguro was basically saying.
Toguro was essentially saying you have to give up your humanity, become heartless in order to achieve power. But it worked inversely for him. So he was afraid to admit that things really affected him. He was afraid to let people know that he loved them, and he was afraid of surrendering to his emotions. Reason being is that he's afraid of losing these things, and that's the only reason he's in the tournament in the first place, to defend what he loves.
Yep.
So he's so afraid of losing these things and, like, becoming attached, and it prevents him from fighting at his full power, because you need that motivation, you need that source of strength somewhere past the muscles. So the physical limitation feeds the emotional limitation, and the emotional limitation feeds the physical limitation, and that cycle creates like such a strong narrative for a main character that no other, like, name a show that has like such a perfect cycle, you know. And for your character to go through all of this and overcome, and you see, you know, all of the work bear fruit, how could you not say he's like the greatest shonen character?
But then, some would say that Naruto also went
Yo,
through
fuck
all of
him.
that. No, to our credit, we do have to point that out. Naruto did have his quote-unquote physical limitations, because he always had a backup anytime some shit went down. Because it was just like, if I'm not strong enough to beat it myself, well, out comes the fox, insta win. But
And if the fox can't do it, then here comes Kakashi Sensei.
pretty like he basically was able to like get bailed out of most situations.
But the problem is that, like, all right, in the beginning, I would agree that he has baggage, right? Like, the village didn't love him and all of that, but his whole character is based off of the fact that he was strong enough to not care about what other people thought, right? So at no point did his emotions really prevent him from doing anything, except for when Jiraiya died, because then he was just sad Naruto.
And then he had a full briefcase.
Honestly, the only time that sad Naruto was an annoyance was in the fucking game, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I forgot which game it was. I think it was
Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. Where you had to walk around town, and then when you were sad Naruto, you could only sad walk.
What?
So normally,
I remember this now.
here's the thing. Normally, you can run around the game and whatnot, blah blah, because
It's a world map.
It's a world. It's not an
Yeah.
open world, but it's a world.
Yeah.
Right. So you walk around and you go from place to place. But during the whole sad Naruto arc, you could only walk because he was sad. So he was just walking really slow and sad. And that's the only thing. It's just annoying. Because I'm just trying to get to the next level. That's it. It was just like, can you stop being sad boy and just fucking like, let's go already. And because like, in all honesty,
that's really
it didn't.
insensitive,
No,
buddy.
but for real, like his emotions never really got in the way of anything after like he found his team. Like after, all right, Team 7, I have people that care about me. Cool, I'm good.
Yeah, it's true. Emotions drove the plot of Naruto, but it didn't drive the characters like
Development.
It drove their actions. All you have to do is look at Sasuke. The dude's like a giant emotion machine.
Yeah.
But it's just
And that's the thing. You need to, in order for emotional limitations to be a valid, I guess, argument here, your character needs to change. Your character needs to realize whatever their hang-up was holding them back, get over it, and grow. Naruto is the same motherfucker from the beginning, except he's a little more responsible.
yeah.
And that's it. Like and that's not a bad thing, because Naruto in the beginning, yeah, he was an asshole kid looking for attention. Mm-hmm. Once he got the headband and he was in the academy, he stopped doing pranks because he was doing something valuable. You know, I don't want to say
he's starting to fulfill his dream.
Exactly. He took the first step, so he didn't have to seek attention. He just put all of his energy into being a ninja. And that's all that's it. Like, that's all he did. You know, at no other point did he grow as a person. He had a certain set of ideals, like, you know, good is good, bad is bad, you know, we should be friends, you know, the good old main character talking like jutsu, and, you know,
Main character talking jutsu.
yo, it's the main character talking jutsu. You talk your enemies down, and then they become your friends.
Yep.
You know, Goku did it, Naruto did it.
It's just basically the
Midoriya is
dumb
probably gonna do
shonen
it.
protagonist.
Yeah.
Midoriya already did that.
Yeah. So, like, you know, it's just the jutsu. But that's it. Like, you know, there's nothing past that. So that's why I can't really say that Naruto had like such a emotional struggle, because he didn't. The only thing, he's like, I miss my fucking friend. That's it. That's I miss Sasuke. I want to suck
my
his dick.
family. I miss my friends.
I miss my own hole.
Who? What? Where? Why?
Naruto. Not Sasuke.
That threw me off. That threw me off.
No, I'm just like, we already said he missed Sasuke, so like, who else is his owner?
Sasuke.
Oh man.
I was just adding to the Sasuke part.
So yeah, you know, you have like
Back
things
to
going for him,
Yusuke.
but yeah, back to Yusuke, he had so much, and then even after that was the Dark Tournament. That's not the end of the anime. Afterwards, he had to struggle with
Oh my
Shisui?
god!
The
chapter
Sensui.
Black
Sensui,
arc
yeah.
The
is
chapter Black
the
arc.
most emotional arc for Yusuke.
It is.
Because it's honestly 90% of it isn't even really fighting. It's the mental struggle of dealing with a man who's basically his senpai, who went batshit crazy, dealing with the morality of what it means to be a spirit detective.
Yep.
And I loved the juxtaposition too, because the arc begins with him meeting yet another senpai, and she's just basically telling him like, "Yo, so I was a spirit detective too. Shit's kind of like it can get to you. So
I thought he met her after.
He did.
It was he met her after, and he met her before the Demon World arc.
You're right. Oh, crap.
So he didn't have. Yeah, it's cool. He didn't even have any reference. So it was like, all right, cool. Who is this guy? He had your job before you had your job. Oh, all right. What's his deal then? He's trying to fuck shit up. Well, why? He saw the tape. What tape?
It wasn't even just the tape. He saw humans. Like, basically, Shinobu Sensui was the most effective spirit detective that they had.
Ever.
Because he was basically a machine.
Yeah, he saw the world in black and white.
Point me to the demons, I will destroy them. That was it. Like, point me to the humans, and I'll protect them. It was that simple to him. But then, he met the Black Club. And the Black Club was basically a group of asshole humans who literally got off sexually on torturing and murdering, possibly raping, but they don't really show that, demons.
He's not in the anime.
At least not in the anime. And this completely distorts his worldview.
Yeah.
Because it's just like innocent demons.
Evil humans?
Yes, it was.
But how?
And like the stress is so great that it fractures his personality. He has dissociative identity disorder.
Yep.
It has 7 alters.
Word.
By the time like the chapter Black arc rolls around, because he's lost control of his emotions so much that he needs to like
compartmentalize
into each different person. And this is the man that Yusuke has to fight.
Yep. And so like Yusuke needs to also in order to properly like just fight this guy, he also needs to face the question,
And not DC's question.
Yeah. Is what I'm doing right? Am I protecting the right people? And obviously he comes into the answer that what he's doing is right. There are good people, there are bad people on both sides of the fence.
Good demons and bad demons.
And he works with demons, so he understands that there is gray in the world. But so you're fighting someone who had your job, who was in your position, which is a unique position because he's only the 3rd spirit detective ever.
Yeah.
And so emotions and morality and like how dark people can get becomes a big thing in this arc. And he's not done growing. So if you're gonna tell me that anyone did more emotional growth than Yusuke in Shonen specifically, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Cause we started with the Dark Tournament. We're not even talking about when he first starts fighting demons.
Word.
Yeah.
When he has to deal with this whole situation of like having to balance this life and figuring out like just how far he's willing to go to protect the ones he loves, which is the 4 Saint Beast arc, where he essentially gives his life. Like, he starts firing spirit guns made of his life force in order to defeat Suzaku. Because he's like, I'm not gonna let you hurt the ones I care about, even if I have to die for it. Yeah. And that's such a marked change from when he was at the beginning.
Word. Well, even before that, he showed a change in his character, in which, well, I guess it was similar to, like, the original reason he died. So he died saving a kid's life, right?
Yeah.
And he was, when Kurama made the wish on that mirror, Yusuke was planning on giving his life. Because he couldn't bear to, like... So essentially, Kurama wanted to save his human mother's life.
Yep.
And was going to sacrifice his life in order to... save hers. Yusuke, looking at the situation, recently watching his mom go through the grief of his death, didn't want Kurama's mother to go through the same thing because he saw it and he knows how much that hurts. And it's like, how could you? And it's not like asking the question of how could you make that decision. It's more so he said, you're saving her life, but she's gonna live a life without you, and that's what's wrong. So I'll give my own. And like
the selflessness of that, the mirror itself is just like, I'm impressed with you.
It's just like
the mirror was like, wow, that was selfless. Free wish.
Free wish.
I had actually, like, there are certain like parts of it because it's been a while, admittedly, since I've watched it. Like there are those little parts that kind of like they kind of fade to the like the back out of all the like the epic action scenes and stuff like that. Like,
but they're important.
They're certainly important, but that's the funny thing because it's like they fade away in my brain, but they stay in my heart, as schmaltzy as that sounds. Because it's just like when you notice, like as soon as you talked about them, I was like, yes, I remember this. But it's just like, but then when I'm thinking about it, all I think about is that freaking. I remember, like, the scene where Toguro has gone to 100 and I think 20% power.
Yeah, he went like past
he went
power.
beyond his limitations.
And it's at this point that he is now just accidentally killing everyone in the stands of the Dark Tournament because
just absorbing their souls
and becoming even stronger.
Yep.
And Yusuke just finally he comes to this realization of who that's been culminating since he first became a spirit detective, of what he wants to do. And that just explosion when the spirit wave finally activates inside of his body, like fully, and he trounces Toguro. I'm like, that's actually the one thing that stays in my mind a lot. That and him getting his arm broken by Senzu, but that shit was hilarious. Because it's just like a little tap. And
Bye. You don't need that.
Oh.
You have two, right? You can spare one?
It was so rough. Bro, like, man, Yu Yu Hakusho had just so many moments in which the series showed the true nature of their characters. You know, it showed...
Not just people, honestly. Not even just characters, just people.
That's actually another thing, too. In what shonen do the characters with the main character reach a level that's, if not the same, like just a little bit underneath, where they remain viable as fighters? Because again, using Goku as an example, how many times does it come down to him?
All the time.
Every time.
Unless
he's dead.
Barring the whole...
Barring Cell.
Yeah, barring Cell. Every time, it's down to him.
I still say Gohan should have been the next character.
No one else, including Gohan, could catch up. Because it was just like, he just became this messianic figure who just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and leaves everyone behind. But not in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, no.
Nope. In Yu Yu Hakusho, after that arc where he befriends not just Kurama, but Hiei, and Kuwabara starts getting his powers in the Genkai training arc, he establishes his team, and his team grows with him. And again, what better place to show that growth than the Dark Tournament saga?
Yeah.
Facts.
Where, for a long period of time, his team was carrying their victories. Because Yusuke
Wasn't he sleeping?
Yes. He was sleeping for a large part of the beginning part of the tournament.
Yeah, like the first half about, right?
Yeah, and then he basically became like the clincher. He was the dude who fought the last strong guy.
It's like, all right, listen, we have 3 out of 4 wins that we need to win. All right, seal the deal. And the thing is, the Dark Tournament set everything up so that, like, sure, you could be a really powerful guy on a really like okay team. If your team's not good enough, you're not winning. You know, the rules were set like, listen, like, you're not winning. If you don't have a team, you don't have a squad with you.
Wasn't Koenma on their team as a fifth member?
Koenma was.
He was basically...
He was a replacement fifth member.
For who again?
To rotate,
Genkai.
yeah.
Genkai, yeah.
After that whole thing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit.
Requiescat in Pace. Also, I love the Kuwabara's giant fly swatter.
Oh my god.
Giant energy fly swatter.
It didn't work though.
No, it didn't.
But it was awesome.
It was cool.
It worked, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
It worked in theory, and we thought it worked, but in actuality, it did not work.
The reason why I say it did work is because he was aiming to win.
He got the win.
He got the win.
He got the win.
A win's a win's a win's a win.
You're right.
But it's like, who would have guessed that freaking like cell of just a little nucleus of Elder Togoro just comes back and then
You'll be good.
yeah. I loved how they dealt with the whole Elder Togoro situation too, because the Togoro brothers was made up of younger Togoro, who was the main bad guy for Yusuke,
And physically bigger.
and physically bigger than Elder Togoro, who looked like a little roach on his shoulder.
Word.
It was kind of weird.
It
Like,
reminded me of Carnage.
yeah, he kind of just like was holding onto his shoulder like a baby or some shit like that. It was weird. But
Fucking roach.
Elder Togoro didn't really do much. He was just kind of like your classic I'm an asshole bad guy. And Kuwabara fights him because like when they finally get to the finals and everyone has to do that fight, he winds up with him and Spirit Fly Swatter. He wins. And then who would think he would come back in Chapter Black?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the reason why I love
He
it...
came back and checked it back.
Yes.
When?
Remember that the dude whose Esper power was freaking eating things? And he ate Elder Togoro.
Yeah.
Oh.
But turns out he's a literal parasite and wound up taking control of his body.
And then died. For real this time.
He didn't die.
I thought that for real that time.
He doesn't die. Because Kurama is a stone cold bastard.
Oh.
And traps him in an eternal, like, mind fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Because he is a demon and he will live forever. And he will always be dreaming of killing Kurama. But he can't do it.
Oh, snap. That's the original, Izanagi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Except with plants.
It was honestly, it was
Yo,
because,
Kurama did it first. Take that, Itachi.
and what made it so chilling was the fact that with the Chapter Black arc, we were introduced to a new type of like people. It was the Espers and their territories. Yeah. So, freaking Kurama has to fight this kid who's known as Game Master.
Oh,
and
Game Master.
When I say kid, he was like a 10-year-old child.
He was like 12.
10, 12, who Sensui manipulates into joining his group on the basis that everything's a game.
It's not real.
Yeah. And so here they are, because they're doing the storm the castle part of the arc, and they're trying to get to Sensui.
Boss rush.
Yeah, before, because the whole thing is Sensui's trying to open a portal between the human and demon worlds and let all the strong demons out and lay waste to all the bastard humans. Because he somehow perverts it to demons good, humans bad. So, with Game Master, no one can beat him because he is the gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where they're doing trivia questions and he has memorized the random seeds of every single trivia question. So to the point where he can answer the question before the question is even asked.
Yep.
Yeah, it was broken.
So then, here comes Kurama. The whole point of his territory is that you have to beat him in a game. And whoever wins, like, basically, I think it's like a win-lose situation. I can't remember. But anyway, somebody's going to lose their soul at the end of this.
Yeah.
And so, Kurama goes up against him. And I believe it was math. It was like a mixture between math and Puyo Pop. Where they had to, like, stack the blocks and, like, do, like, math calculations and stuff like that. Yeah. And Kurama is, like, he's just completely stone-faced. Because it looks like he's just resolved, like, in order to save the world, he has to kill this kid. And he's just gonna do it. And Game Master is sweating because he's just like, holy crap, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then he loses. And then he dies. And it's just like, well, shit.
Yep.
And that's when they get into because Game Master was the last one they had to fight before they got to the main, like, cavern where Sensui was.
Yeah.
And that's when Elder Togoro shows up. Just in time for Kurama to let off a little steam. Because he actually really cared about the fact that he had to kill this kid. But he just had to be, like, like he had to put the mission first. But when it was over, oh boy, I have you don't ever see him so angry.
I was like, I needed a punching bag.
Like, here's the thing. Like, you know what I like about that? It's rare that you see characters do what they have to do and regret it. So it's kind of like, all right, either characters do what they have to do and people are like, hey, it had to be done, and they're like, yeah, you're right, and then they get over it. Or they're like, all right, I won't go this far, I won't cross that line.
Or they take the third option and they find some way to screw the system.
Yeah, so that everybody wins.
Yeah.
No, Kurama's like, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm upset about it. And you see the pain on his face, like it's so rough because this was a kid, and you during that time you learned about his past. You learned about that, like they fleshed him out.
How since we manipulated him, all because he was a lonely kid who just wanted someone to play video games with.
Yep.
And as a kid growing up, who can't relate to that?
Facts.
Huh?
Jocks.
Oh, fine, fair. I mean, what are jocks really watching Yu Yu Hakusho?
I mean, it's an anime world now.
Now.
But then,
and also, like at one point, those were kids. They were kids who liked
stuff.
Hey, they want to play catch with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it comes down to like that want and like that need of companionship that every kid has, and that's why it's very easy to relate to that kid. And then when you watch him
slimy and disgusting it is to have an adult prey on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sensui was they do a really good job portraying Sensui as an absolute unredeemable bastard.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as Griffith, but you know.
Well, yeah. But at the same time, you really can't top Griffith in assholery. Why would you even want to try?
People have tried.
I know, but
you shouldn't. You shouldn't try.
And to be fair, Sensui's just like on a whole different like strata of asshole.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to talk about Griffith, but Sensui just basically, he just wants to watch the world burn.
Word.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. And his reasoning for it, ultimately, that we figure out is really stupid. Because that's actually one of the best things, too, about Yu Yu Hakusho. How often do you get an arc in an anime, in a shonen anime, where the bad guy wins?
Word.
Yeah.
Because Sensui's ultimate goal in uniting the human and demon world was to find a demon strong enough to kill him because he had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dying. And he didn't want to go out like a sucker.
Yep.
And Ryzen possessed Yusuke gives him that fight.
Yep.
Against a demon.
Strong enough to kill him. And it works.
Yeah.
He got exactly what he wanted.
Yep.
Everything went his way.
Yep.
And that burns so much.
Like, sure, everyone's safe in the end, but we still lost.
Couldn't change the bad guy's mind.
And you know what's crazy about that? So, Ryzen taking over Yusuke's body, right? Mm-hmm. Which, honestly, crazy move, right? Like, who saw that coming?
Nobody.
Because, spoiler alert, Yusuke died.
Again.
But, like, it's a crazy move, and you know what? It sets up the next arc perfectly.
Perfectly. Who the fuck is this guy?
Who is this guy? How dare you? I'm upset. Like,
I'm gonna find you and deck you in the schnoz.
There you go.
It honestly,
and
lo and behold,
Yusuke took that
kid.
loss hard.
Hey, kid.
He was like, I wasn't me when this happened.
Yo,
this isn't right.
Like, I get no salty runbacks.
He wanted Sensui to get back up, son. Like, he was like, no, I want to fight this fight.
Like, nope, sorry.
Took that away from me.
Finds the dude. Hey, kid, I'm your dad. Excuse you?
But for a second, let's go back to that thing that I said, that little spoiler alert, and tie it back into what I said about how your characters...
We started a spoiler alert, so if anyone gets upset
at this
point,
said it.
We said it in the beginning, so if they're listening, sucks.
Like, when I say that, I mean, like, when Yusuke died, tying it back in...
The first time or the second time?
The second time.
Okay.
Tying it back into how our character, like, how our sub-characters, like, move up with the main character.
Yeah.
How his death affected all his teammates so much...
pushed them up.
That they all got bumped up to A-class demons immediately.
Yeah.
Word. All of them just got crazy power boosts, and they're like, we're gonna
Out of
fuck
rage.
Sexy up.
Zenkai boost.
Like, Kurama went into full Yoko Kurama form, and Hiei was just like, I'm just even more badass, trust me.
Don't even worry about it.
And then Kuwabara.
Kuwabara. See, that's the funny thing, too. Because next to Yusuke, the character with the most development is Kuwabara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuwabara is a man's man. Because he starts off as like that gruff, fucking, all I do is fight type of character. But then dealing with Yusuke, like getting into the spirit detective stuff, and finding something to protect in Yukine makes him grow so much to the point where it's just like he honestly was the integral part of the Chapter Black arc. Because everything that they were doing, it was like necessitated on Kuwabara getting his dimension sword
yeah.
so that he could cut open the
gate.
I will say, Kuwabara also gave us one of the more emotional scenes in this anime, which is when we thought he died by younger Togoro's hands.
Yes.
It's the fact that, like, Kuwabara, when you look at him, you wouldn't think that he's so important. And yet
Especially with that hair.
Right. And yet he's in 2 arcs, the most important character.
Even to the point where in the Demon World tournament, in which he's not in the Demon World tournament arc pretty much at all, because he decides that his education is that important.
Yeah.
So he decides to buckle down and focus on his studies, which he does well. Because
Thanks to his sister.
Thanks to his sister. But, you know, he has to put in that work, too.
Yeah.
Which shows that even though he was a delinquent, he's not a dumbass delinquent. No, he's just a, I don't want to work type of delinquent.
He was lazy at the time, that was all.
But it was to the point where in the Demon World tournament, when Yusuke is, like, beating the shit out of his final opponent, freaking Kurama hallucinates that Kuwabara is there cheering on Yusuke. Because he's so integral to their group. He turns around, he's like, what, Kuwabara? Like, no, he's not there. But his spirit is there. Because everyone felt the Kuwabara spirit when they saw Yusuke beating the shit out of him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Kuwabara was just always my favorite character. Simply because his emotion, his drive to do things was pretty much just because he wanted to prove to Yusuke how, like, good of a friend he could be. How good of a person he could be.
Yeah.
And it's so great. Like, let me ask you then, who were your favorite characters?
I love Yusuke. And I love Kurama. Like, I love them all.
Don't make me pick them.
I think Yusuke takes first place. Kurama second.
Always.
And then Hiei and Kuwabara are tied for third. I may like Genkai more than Kurama. My god.
I was wondering where Genkai was. I'm like...
It's just... Keiko. Fucking love Keiko.
Yusuke's mom.
Yo, yeah.
Yuzu.
You're right. There's so many fucking...
It's a lovable cast.
Honestly.
Yo, Botan. She's the best Grim Reaper ever.
How can you not count Koenma?
Yo, Koenma, when Koenma goes, like, his adult form, he's like, it's time to get serious, and does nothing. I love it.
And he still has that pacifier.
Yo.
What's his demon's name?
George.
George, yeah, George.
Fucking George.
Who turns out to be the fucking narrator the entire time.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You know what it is? He's just writing down... He's a secretary. He just records everything, man.
And that's pretty much it, since Yu Yu Hakusho is technically just the review of the case files of Yusuke Hirameshi.
Yeah.
He's just there like, oh, yeah, this happened, and this happened. And it's just the fact that in, like, one of the final scenes, you hear him talking, and it's in the narrator's voice, and Kuroma's just like, what are you doing? It's just so great. You're right. It's like, it's not like I'm saying... oh, I love this character, but no one else. It's really hard to choose, but honestly, Kuwabara is always the character who makes me just go like, yeah! So that's why I like him the most.
Yeah, he's great. Urameshi!
Fight me, Urameshi!
Oh, man. He's great, man.
Come back for my rematch.
Just GOAT. Like, just... it earns its spot on the table with its writing... with its action,
With its music.
just
a theme song that never changed
Ever.
throughout the entire
One theme,
series.
one opening. Get at me.
Yo,
We don't need these seasonal bullshit. Like, nah, give me one.
We'll change the visuals for the intro appropriately for the arc, but never the song.
Never the song.
that song, you grew up with that song.
Yo, and when the episode title came up and that sound effect for one episode, that still sends you chills to this day.
The fact that they did that in the OVA,
Yeah.
they're like, yo, remember this? You remember, right?
I was like, oh man.
Remember? I remember. You remember? You remember?
Yo. Just-
Yo, and they knew, going with the song, they knew we wanted to hear it, because that's how the OVAs ended.
Also,
with the intro.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm sorry, Herbert. Could you, like, if you remember, do you remember the names of the two OVA?
It was
Two shots.
Two shots and
All or Nothing. Okay, so Two Shots is when Hiei and Kurama meet, and All or Nothing is after the
Hostage situation.
Yeah, it's the hostage situation. Did you notice that the artwork reflected the way that it was? For example, like if you remember how the older arcs of Yu Yu Hakusho looked, they kind of went with that style for Two Shots.
Yeah.
And then it had the smoother, cleaner animation, like how they did when they got to the Demon World Tournament arc for the second OVA.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great touch.
It was fantastic, honestly.
Hiei and Kurama young look dope.
Yes. Honestly.
Like Hiei doesn't look that much different. His face looks a little, just a little more boyish.
Yeah.
But Kurama with rocking a short haircut.
It looks good.
Looks good.
And it's just it was just weird to me. I'm just like,
It really was weird.
with the
long flowing hair.
locks that made a lot of people mistake him for a girl for the longest time.
I mean, a lot of people thought it was a girl. I thought it was a girl for a bit.
I didn't.
No?
No, I didn't make that mistake.
No.
I did at first. Like if you watch the show like sans context and you just see this character with long red hair and a kind of really pretty face,
Whips out a rose whip, yeah.
Yeah. And just
Wow.
like, is it a girl?
You know, I realized Kurama's just a tuxedo mask of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Except better.
Except more active.
More active, yeah.
Well, it's hard to not be more active than Tuxedo Mask.
I mean, not to knock on him. But,
Oh yes, to knock on him.
But he did.
Don't get me
he
wrong.
would show up, be like, throw a rose down, interrupt an attack, show up, have the fucking castanets and the acoustic guitar play, be like, do this, and it's like, all right, they win. I've done my job. You did nothing, and I must leave.
See,
She was cool. Don't get me wrong. You just didn't.
that's the funny thing.
He
that
threw the rose. That was
people-
important.
People sleep on Tuxedo Mask, but people don't look at Tuxedo Mask in the context of wrestling. What happens when another wrestler comes in and turns the momentum towards the person that they're helping?
That's true.
That's exactly what Tuxedo
It's
Mask
a
did.
distraction.
He
Yeah.
always turned the momentum towards Sailor Moon. Like,
He's like, we need to turn the tides. Rose.
like, every time, like, our situation is at its weakest. Boom!
know
That
what-
fucking strum of the guitar. It's just like,
You know what it was? It was they just hit that assist.
Yeah,
They hit that assist button.
Assist button.
that's all he ever did. But it was always at the most timely moment, and always immediately Sailor Moon hits him with the final move, and it's just like, done.
Yep.
Whereas Kurama prefers more to put his boot in people's faces himself.
That's an understatement.
Facts. Oh man.
The show's just great.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Well, I never give anything 10 out of 10. I don't. It goes against my beliefs. I don't
So,
think anything can be.
9.9.
Well, unless you count 10 as near, like, as close to perfection as you can get.
No, because in my mind, 10 is perfection.
That was 11 out of 10.
That's
Beyond.
more. That's beyond perfection. That makes no goddamn sense.
Only
So
Vern Logon can
like
do that.
9.5, son.
9 point what?
9.5.
That's fair.
What about you, buddy?
Me? See, I don't have, like, that idea, because I'm just, like, I'm more emotional than logical when it comes to, like,
That makes perfect sense.
yeah, when I'm, like, rating anime, so I'm just like, that's a 10 for me. And there's a lot of the 90s animes that hit 10s for me, like, obviously Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star,
Oh my god, I lost
Dragon.
fucking Trigun too, man.
Yeah.
Love
Rurouni Kenshin.
and Peace for Rurouni Kenshin. Like, those were just all 10s, and maybe that's just like the
Nostalgia factor?
Nostalgia.
But here's the thing: they hold up.
They do.
They hold up.
They do.
Like I
They would stand the test of
rewatched.
time.
I rewatched Cowboy Bebop this year, and I was like, damn, dramatic as fuck. It holds up.
It's so good.
It holds up. You know.
But, I mean, me? You got your seatbelt in ready? You all buckled in for my number, buddy?
Yo, fuck you. Go for it.
It's a 9.8.
She's not done. Yeah.
6. 4.
Yeah.
Eat a dick.
I'm glad you feel the same way.
It's so unnecessary.
Word. I want him
What
to.
does it even mean?
I want him to explain to me what
What do all those numbers consist of?
the 9 I understand, the 8 I understand. After that point, you lost.
Do you even remember what the number order was?
Yeah. What?
9.8264.
What's the 4? What's the difference between a 4 and a 3?
Listen, we're not gonna go over this. I told you it's a whole episode for me to go over this.
That's exactly how you avoid it. Because of course I'm not gonna waste a fucking hour talking about this bullshit rating system.
Now let me ask you a question: is this only for Yu Yu Hakusho, or is this for every anime that you watch?
Oh, everything. He does everything.
This is actually the first time I'm hearing this. So
It's a running gag.
did not realize this.
It's before the show's time. It's a tale as old as time, my friend.
All right.
And I'm old, so.
Like, okay, Vandal Savage.
Vandal Salvaje.
Vandal Salvage? I don't remember this character, sir.
Salvaje is Spanish for salvage, good sir.
Okay, but we're talking about savage.
Yeah, sorry, I meant savage. Spanish for savage.
Salvage is Spanish for savage?
Salvaje.
So why don't you just drop the L, Salvaje, and then you'll just be Vandal Savage?
Honestly, Spanish is weird that way, man. But to go back to what we were saying about Yu Yu Hakusho, so that's just your rating, then.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
Since you can't change your mind about it.
No, we're not. There's no point in arguing. I honestly don't listen to his ratings anymore.
Gotcha. So your brain just kind of cuts off like 9.8.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
That's it.
He'll go
That's
over the
it.
first 2 numbers and then that's it, you know.
Because he's just rounding.
I don't round. I don't care. If it was a 9.85 and 9.84, it doesn't matter. 9.8.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good time to cut out.
Call it.
Yeah.
End it. Finish it.
Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Make sure to tune in to the rest of our episodes if you missed any, and also check out the rest of the Nerdie bunch.
And check out the JoJo's one where I made my debut.
Oh, look at this guy. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
The internet.
The internet. Remember, it's The Nerdy Bunch, and it's nerdy with an IE. Always got to remind people. Because it's easy to mistake.
Yeah,
It is.
Considering.
And, so signing out for now. My name is Herberto.
Jeremy.
No. Actually, no, I'm not doing that.
You can't do it anyway.
No, I can't. My name is Lens, and keep it nerdy.